Yeah, another tough game for us on Sunday. Georgia Southern are a pretty athletic group that defend really well and they're pretty organised. They've got some good players in some key areas of the field and made it tough to break down. So we went up early 1-0, and I think going up too early in this game probably hurt us a little bit and got a little comfortable, played a little backwards too much, a little slow, and kind of got a little complacent at our home field, and that can kind of happen. I think we saw that was a big difference when we played at App State. When we scored at App State, we had a bit more of a fight knowing that it was at their home field and we were the away team and we were going to be the ones on the back foot a little bit. And I think we just switched off a little bit and got complacent. A lot of things we had worked on during the week didn't come to fruition during the game. We sat off a little bit and just let them get back into the game. In the second half, they come out with some really good energy. So the first 10, 15 minutes, we had to make some quick changes because they were coming at us. And then after that, we felt we'd done enough to get the result. But again, we didn't capitalize on several of those opportunities. So we certainly need to find out a way to figure out to have the same energy on the road that we do at home, especially when we lead in games. We certainly do a good job of having that fight. We've saw that many of the games this year. When we go down a goal, we've managed to come back. But now we have to make sure when we're at home, we're either scoring first and holding on or making sure that we've got a bigger comeback than just coming back to have a tie. So we'll get another go at it on Thursday against Southern Miss, which will be an exciting game for us as well, making sure that those styles and matchups are pretty similar. So we're going to have to make sure we work on some things from the game on Sunday that I know we're going to dig into today and tomorrow to make sure that we improve for Thursday's game.
Your team a lot this season has a lot of their shots and goals has really amped up in the second half. How much of that, not a lot of teams can really do that. And that speaks a lot to your team's conditioning and just kind of how much they push through. Kind of talk about that and you really are taking a lot of shots in that second half, especially when the game's winding down late.
Yeah, it's, we're talking about that as a staff moving into it. And as much as we're looking at some games right now and it's a 1-1 tie against Georgia Southern and it's a 1-1 tie against Arkansas State. 2 years ago, we were second bottom in the conference in shots with 145. We've still got 6-7 games to go now, and we're second in the conference with 154. So with 7 games to go, we're better than where we were 2 years ago, and that was over 18 games versus 9 games now. So the frustration now is the fact that we've jumped so far and it's just that last piece of put in the back of the net, and the chances that we're creating and the shots that we're getting, they're not just shots from 40 yards out, they're chances inside the box, and we're having good opportunities. It's just we have to be technically proficient in those moments to capitalize on it and put it there. So I definitely think the physical aspect has an opportunity to put in more numbers in the box and more runs forward ahead of the ball to get in those opportunities. And it's just, we just got to be persistent. We've got to keep challenging ourselves to make sure we put ourselves in that uncomfortable situation in practice and repeat and make sure we're technically executing right. And when it's not working, just make sure that we find a way to get it done.
Does it get frustrating at some point? You're getting all these chances to put teams away possibly, and shots are missed or shots are blocked or goalkeeper does a great job. Does it get a little frustrating?
Absolutely. You look at the year we just mentioned in 23, we won some big games then and got to the tournament, and we got killed essentially in every game. But this year we're doing the opposite and we're not breaking teams down, and they've done a really good job of defending. I mean, there were several moments in the game against Arkansas State and against Georgia Southern where we're getting ready to capitalize and they've got 8-9 people in the box and they're just defending the box really, really well. But that's a testament to the conference and the soccer level of this conference. It's so competitive. Every game is like a final. It's like a championship game that anyone gets a point in a game, and it's a bonus, especially when you're on the road. So it gets frustrating at times, but we just have to make sure that that's part of it. And what we don't want to do is slip off in the other areas where we're not having a lot of the ball, which has been, some of the defensive errors we've made in the last couple of games has been on the other half of the field that was switched off. So certainly moments there that we can learn from, and if we tie those up, then that doesn't put us on the back foot and we have to play catch up.
How do you manage, you talked about scoring early and then maybe not being as aggressive. How do you manage strategically trying to stay aggressive, but also understanding you don't want to give something up cheap on the other end?
Yeah, so at that point you become, for us at least, we're challenging the individual to make sure that it's on them. Like we've done our team job now, we're up a goal. So individually, make sure you're still hitting your targets. Each player goes into a game and they've got some parameters that they want to look for, whether it's connecting some passes, winning some defensive duels, getting some crosses and some runs in the box or something. So making sure for those guys, hey, well, we're up a goal, but you've still got your job to do in these areas. And that's where we kind of switched off at the second half. So still challenging them to make sure that as well as the team targets. They've got their own individual targets, so that each game they're getting better by themselves, and they're not comparing themselves to things outside of our control, and try and give them something tangible to hold on to.
You talked about the grittiness of this conference and all the teams in it. Georgia Southern came off a bad loss to JMU, and they came out with a great game plan against you guys. Southern Miss coming off a bad loss now. You have to imagine that you're going to get their best fight now. Kind of talk about how tough like this conference is and what challenges Southern Miss is going to present.
Yeah, I mean, they come out, they play some really good soccer. We saw that last year at their place. They beat us last year. They played some good stuff, and they've got some good players in some key areas again. So I think that the game plan that they're going to have, they always play some good football with the ball. It's just what they do defensively. So if they get numbers behind the ball quickly, it's going to be challenging. But if they're a little slow in transition, I hope that we can make adjustments from Sunday's game, where we had opportunities to go forward and make our numbers up in a counter-attacking situation, that we go forward on Thursday instead of coming backwards and recirculating.
What do you think about Natalie's performance yesterday? She had a lot. They had quite a few opportunities to score more than one goal yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, the header that the young lady had in the second half was probably one of the best saves I've seen her make. It was pretty much nearly going in top corner. So, with that honor of being a goalkeeper, making those saves comes in the moments where you're going to make a mistake. But she's been tremendous for us for more than just 1 year now. That it's certainly not magnified her performance yesterday. I thought that she done well and commanded her box well, and mistakes happen. It's part of it. We saw it in the Arkansas State game as well from our senior captain in the back line. So we just got to make sure that we support each other and we love each other through those moments, and we come together and we don't just individualize one player and make sure that they feel as if they're at fault for something. And that's one thing we can definitely do a little bit better. I think that slipped off on Sunday.
Carson Glenn, I think we saw her ability to be able to impact the game a lot yesterday. She might not always show up in the stat sheet in terms of goals, but you really saw that speed on display and how much pressure she puts on defenses. Kind of talk about her and like her speed aspect of the game and how pivotal like she is in your attack.
Yeah, well, her speed's a weapon, but her with the ball at her feet is unbelievable. She can evade any type of pressure. And I think one of the things, if we take a lens off and we step back a little bit, the biggest thing is that when Carson gets the ball, there's 2-3 people around her, right? We saw that at the start of the year, even at Ole Miss. She's getting the ball in dangerous areas and there's a defender, and then one recovering defender and two recovering defenders, because they know that they're going to get by them. So what we have to do is supporting teammates on the field is make sure that she's got support in areas in key moments instead of just allowing her to do it by herself several times. We need to make sure we add to her game as well, that she can do more than just the dribble and the running behind. Can we get her to link up a little better? Can we get her to get some deliveries inside the box a little sooner? So again, it's all part of the development. She's a freshman. This is her first fall season, right? Like, there's so much growth in these athletes, and they've came so far since the start of the year. But a lot of the players that are in key aspects for us going forward right now and scoring goals, they're either freshmen or it's their first time being part of this program in the fall. It's a learning experience. You play one team, it's completely different defensively than you play another team, and they're learning and they're growing from it and they're hungry. They want to do more. They're doing extra sessions, more film session. I have no doubt in my mind that they're going to grow over time. Obviously, as an athlete, they want it to be now, and they want it to be this past Sunday, and if not this Thursday. So making sure we can set up that environment for them to be successful is going to be key.
How do you kind of keep the players at are you getting close to the conference tournament? Only 8 teams getting points matter, whether it's ties or wins. How do you kind of keep the players in the mindset of, hey, let's not look at the big picture, but we got to focus one game at a time, and if we take care of our business, we'll end up where we want to be.
Exactly what you just said. We felt like we should have got 3 points on Sunday, but we still got a point out of it, which is better than nothing. Same at Arkansas State, and we got 3 in the road at App State. So you're looking at it, we got 5 points in the last 3 games, and if we keep that momentum up with the games left, then hopefully we can stay competitive and go there. But there's so many things that move away from it, and James Madison had a great result and then another tie on the weekend, and anything can happen in this conference. We saw that South Alabama, same thing. They were run away undefeated, and then they were unfortunate to have a loss on Sunday. This conference is so talented and so unpredictable. Anything can happen on any given day. So it's really just, as you said, just taking it one game at a time, and we can only be present in the moment, be where our feet are, and take care of business.